In 2019, a Reddit user known as Snapped Fingers created an intriguing and concerning post on the subreddit r/advice. They described experiencing hallucinations of creatures that weren't physically present, which led them to believe that there was a portal they needed to close. That portal being in one of the most dangerous places on Earth, the catacombs. This is the story of Snapped Fingers, the Redditor who mysteriously disappeared. On October 19th, 2019, Snapped Fingers created their Reddit account. Despite the name sounding like any other Redditors, Snapped Fingers was far from ordinary. On the same day they joined, they made their first post detailing experiences of seeing and hearing things that weren't there. The user states, "Lately I've been seeing and hearing things that aren't there, even more than normal. Most of the time it's small things like seeing spiders on me in my peripheral vision, only to look at them and they disappear." He rarely has full body visual hallucinations, but he had one, and that was a couple years ago when he was taking out the garbage and the silhouette of a child crunched down on all fours charged at him. He also had one more before that, and it was a large fleshy naked featureless figure walking slowly on all fours down the hall. Already, this does not sound like the average case of schizophrenia. It sounds like something far worse. Schizophrenia is a serious mental illness that affects how a person thinks, feels, and behaves. People with schizophrenia may seem like they've lost touch with reality, which can be distressing for them and their family and friends. Although we do not know if this is the case with Snapped Fingers, but what we do know is that he sees creatures that are abnormal, to say the least. But the first post doesn't end with that. He states that all throughout his childhood, he's been having this thing that goes in his ear, and it used to terrify him, but he's no longer afraid of it. He's not a believer in the supernatural, and he doesn't want doctors involved, as they have treated him as a science experiment before. And with that being said, he proceeds to ask for advice. But as we all know, the internet isn't exactly the best place to ask for help, especially within Reddit. His choice to not seek professional help and try to cure it himself on his own with the help of Reddit can only lead to one thing, and that is him getting worse. But that's just my thoughts speaking for me. Only a few days later, he proceeded to create two more posts, one with the title being, "In 2008, I stuck a power drill into my arm." I do not have access to any more information regarding that post since it has been removed, but I could only imagine for what reason he proceeded to do that. And the second one's title is, "If you see interdimensional beings, how do you deal with them?" One user commented, "Fuck them." Then Snapped Fingers replied, "What about the bigger ones?" The user replied, "Let them fuck me." This user was obviously only being sarcastic, but Snapped Fingers was not aware of that. He responded with, "Holy, I didn't know that's what they're trying to do. I've had them wrap a tendril around a limb or two, but that's damn crazy. Interdimensional sex. Jesus, no wonder holy water works a bit on them." After this, another user responded with, "Check your DMs, Chief. Discord." This singular message would lead to the downfall of Snapped Fingers. This user claimed to be a professional and offered to help Snapped Fingers. After they connected, Snapped Fingers started spending more time with people on Discord. These individuals began influencing his thoughts and giving him ideas. Although there's no concrete evidence that these people were trolls, it is highly likely. And just a few days later, he would post this. "How much of you do interdimensional beings require to leave you alone for good? Blood ritual. Long story short, I see things that don't appear to actually be there, but are. Recently, I've been discussing this matter with some experts on Discord, and apparently if I give a significant part of myself, as in only from me, to these interdimensional beings, they will finally leave me alone. I've been informed a finger is enough to banish them, but I'm not convinced. I don't even know if they will take it completely or just want it removed as some peace offering. Basically, I don't know if it can be recovered. On top of that, I'm a bit skeptical on whether or not the whole ritual will work in general. Blood magic rituals are something I've never heard of until somewhat recently. Knowing now that this isn't hallucinations like I once thought, but interdimensional beings, I seek others who might have experience with banishing them, and hopefully there's a solution that's less extreme. It seems like the people on Discord aren't fully aware of how serious this situation really is, as they're telling him to cut off and offer one of his fingers to a being that he sees. His slight belief in them is understandable since he would most likely do anything to make it all go away. But this post confirms that this user is most likely not joking about his scenario, and it will most likely end up badly. Not just because of the things he sees, but also because he appears to be extremely impressionable, which means that the more he relies on the people online, the worse his situation will get. And that's exactly how it turned out to be. From here on out, his condition only worsened. And his next post proves it, and the title reads, "Is there really a hell portal down in the Paris catacombs?" Snapped Fingers expresses a belief that if such portal exists, it might be responsible for the release of interdimensional beings worldwide. He has been searching for pictures of this portal, but keeps finding images of rooms filled with bones instead. This makes him frustrated since he needs to find the exact location of the portal to arrange a guided expedition to shut it down. He mentions that he has saved enough money for a flight and equipment, but hasn't yet figured out how to close the portal. And he states that he's collaborating with a duo experienced in shutting down hell portals, which most likely is one of the people from Discord. He really emphasizes the urgency of their mission, implying that recent airport shutdowns and a biblical plague might be attempts to prevent them from closing the portal. This post really makes it seem like Snapped Fingers is slowly but surely spiraling into insanity. The community did not take this post well, and one user commented, "This is a joke, right? If it isn't, holy shit, you're stupid as fuck. Stop trying to be a special snowflake and sit down. There's a hacking epidemic going on." Snapped Fingers replied, "I don't understand. I'm not trying to be special at all. I'm trying to be normal. Once the hell portal is sealed, it will cut the flow to interdimensional beings. Then it's only a matter of time proving they exist, and enlisting a lot of people to help mop them up on a global scale." Another user replied, "Get back on your meds." Snapped Fingers answered, "They weren't making much of a difference, meaning that these beings are actually there. I know how to stop them, I just need these final pieces of information to carry it out. The illness was a distraction to prevent me from making the journey to shut the portal down. Now that their distraction has been foiled, they released a global pandemic to shut down the airports. I don't have much time before the government shut down the airports for real." As people began to realize how delusional Snapped Finger was becoming, they started opposing his decisions. But by then, it was already too late. He had made up his mind, even if it meant going alone. The person from Discord who had planned the trip with him had realized that Snapped Fingers was serious about going and decided to step away. However, Snapped Fingers believed his friend backed off because they were so close to closing the portal. He thought his friend had been possessed by interdimensional creatures that was trying to stop them from sealing the portal. Snapped Fingers made a few more posts about the journey ahead of him, but nothing that caught my eye. Then, without warning, he fell silent. Until one day, he made his final post. "Traveled by questionable means and didn't account for funds to proceed further. I recently hired a group of gentlemen to take me to Paris so I could shut down the hell portal in the catacombs. and I arrived in Calais, but I need to continue on my own to Paris. My problem is I didn't account for funds for really anything. I didn't consider this part of the journey. I have nowhere to go, and I'm currently posting this from inside a dumpster to hide from the interdimensional beings. Since there is no light because how late it is, they're swarming outside my bin. I cannot drag this dumpster with me on my journey as it's obviously too heavy. What should I do for shelter? The fact that all we have left of Snapped Fingers' situation is this final message is truly disturbing. As of today, his Reddit profile has been shut down and can no longer be accessed. Furthermore, there's no other input or information regarding this situation. I have scoured the web and searched through the Wayback Time Machine, but there is simply no thread or any type of information that can link us to his disappearance. I'd like to believe that this is all a hoax, but Snapped Fingers put so much time and effort into finding a way to make all these creatures he was seeing disappear that I truly believe it's not. This person was in a dire situation, desperately trying to escape, but in the end, it ended horribly.